T-R-E-M, the Tokyo Real Estate Man. I'm here with another video, but today, no, I'm not going to cover Tokyo, as you can see here in katakana, Saitama, that's she for city. We're going to cover this house here in Saitama. Before we go there, this is what I'd call kind of chikai Saitama, Tokyo shiteru no Saitama. This is really close to Tokyo, okay? And we're going to look at here, this property here is in Kawaguchi. But you see over here, though, you can see here's Adachi City in Tokyo too. So this is really close to Tokyo, okay? And just by looking at this market, we don't see any red pill here at all. But we do see a lot of a mix of, we don't see a sea of blue, which is a really good sign. You see a bit of a mixture between, you don't really see any really blue here at all. You're seeing some of the stuff here on the very bottom of the, although I manipulated the map in some ways, anything that we're looking here, I've looked at today as in reform sumi. So anything that we're going to look at today and with this property has already been refurbished. So if I unclick this, let's see what that'll do to this map. And it's going to obviously add some supply, and you can see it's added quite a bit of supply to here, but it's also added some red pill or orange pill here. And this is this area that we're going to look in here today. So actually, I really picked a really decent area, but you can see as well that there's some blue pill there as well. If I were to click that one right there, we can see that there's something here, and this is a relative scale. So for 170,000 Canadian, you have something here for 1,750 man. Okay, but I'm going to stick to my reform sumi today, which means that something that has already been refurbished and is presently for sale. And we're going to look at this one here, which is really the closest one to Tokyo. But before we go there, we are going to go to my friend DeepSeek here, because I did ask some questions. And the first question I asked is the population of Saitama growing? And as of course, this is an excellent question. Thank you, DeepSeek. That's the one negative thing I think I find about DeepSeek as an AI. It's a little bit too positive, so it tends to be too agreeable in my estimation, but I still like to use it because sometimes it can be really funny. If you turn the AI in that way to be funny and stuff like that, I like DeepSeek in that way. The short answer is no, the population of Saitama Prefecture is not growing. It has been begun to decline following the national trend. So again, really close to Tokyo, and Saitama is in kind of a state of slow decline. The overall trend peaked to decline. Saitama Prefecture's population peaked around 2020, I guess, right now, according to official statistics. The peak population was 7.34 million, which is really big. That's a really big city, Saitama. So I don't know what a comparison would be. Here in Vancouver, I think Greater Vancouver's population is possibly 4 or 5 million. I'm not really sure. So Saitama is actually bigger than Vancouver itself. And you can see in October 1st of 2023, the population is estimated at 7.3. So you see that there's declined 25,000 people. Oh, that's pretty slight. I don't know, I'm just sort of looking at this, and this here, Kawaguchi, okay, is very close to Tokyo. So I was trying to think that maybe this might be the best place to invest, just because of its proximity to Tokyo. We could just go there. We go through the summary. Is the population growing now? No, it's not. Why is it declining? Primarily because of deaths, significantly outnumbering births. Okay, this is not a surprise. This is really following the greater trend that we see in Japan. Did it used to grow? Yes, it did. Okay, and for a long time, because it was a popular destination for people moving out of Tokyo seeking a better quality of life. Now, don't forget that that was probably prior to the 2000s, and from the 2000s, so the Minato Ward in the 1990s is declining in population, but after the 2000s, Okay, Minato Ward, which is Tokyo's most central ward, becomes Tokyo's fastest growing ward. So it U-turns and people start to change their pattern. Rather than running to the suburbs, okay, they're preferring to live smaller and to live in central Tokyo. So that's really indicating the same sort of trend that we saw in Tokyo. It's in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, families are moving out, but in the 2000s they start to it's not one way, but they start to move back into Tokyo. Okay, so in conclude, will it continue to decline? Yes, all projections indicates that Saitama's population, along with Japan's as a whole, will continue to shrink and age for the foreseeable future. Okay, in conclusion, Saitama is a classic example of a Japanese region that successfully grew by attracting people from the megacity, but now succumbing to the nation's overpowering demographic headwinds. Basically, that says it all, okay? That says it all. Now, I did come to here, the next part of my question or query to it is the population, this is where the map is right now, straddling over Kawaguchi, is the population of Kawaguchi Saitama growing? Is that my next question? That's an excellent follow-up question, zooming in. Okay, the short answer is no. The population of Kawaguchi City is also declining, and its decline began slightly earlier than the prefecture's overall trend. So I wonder if that there too really marks, instead of people going to Kawaguchi, then they decided to buy, let's say, or move or stay, for example, in Tokyo. I don't know. I don't really know. But we still have to cover the Kawaguchi market because its proximity to Tokyo is very, very close. My personal experiences with Saitama are through the wedding business, and I worked in the Japanese wedding business for about, I think, 17 years, and I performed a lot of weddings. I was a wedding celebrant, and I performed a lot of weddings in a place that's known as Saitama Shintoshin, which is kind of really modern center in central Saitama, and I've been there as much as 20 or 30 times. So that's really my experience with Saitama. I've never really lived there, but I've worked there a lot of times by just doing weddings. So that's kind of my experience with it, and I don't really hugely know it. For example, I worked in Yokohama full-time for many, many years, and I would know Yokohama much more than I would Saitama. Okay. Anyhow, that's a little break. I don't want to stay on the map here too long. What did I ask? I wanted to ask one more sort of key question, and I came here into the northern edge of Tokyo, which is Itabashi Ward or Itabashi-ku, and I said, how about Itabashi Ward in Tokyo? Is the population growing? Now, of course, another great, DeepSeek is way too positive, but another great example of how demographics can vary even within the same metropolitan area. The answer for Itabashi Ward is nuanced. No, the population is not growing in a traditional sense, but it has managed to stabilize at a very high level. After a period of growth, it is now experiencing a very slight decline. So even inside Tokyo, you see that Itabashi Ward is declining or flat. I don't really know. Okay, so overall trend. So we have peak population of Itabashi's population peaked more recently around 2021, 2022, about the same as Saitama, at approximately 584,000 residents. Current status of April 2024, 581. So we see a very, maybe even almost nil, a decline of about 3,000 people, but it is a slight decline. So what is the key point? Unlike some areas that began declining in the 2010s, okay, Itabashi's population grew steadily until its recent peak, I guess in 2021, and the subsequent decline has been very modest so far. That's pretty well flat, I would say. Breaking down the natural, I don't know. That's kind of the the breakdown of it here. So even in the sort of northern wards of Tokyo, this is basically the most northern ward of Tokyo, we have a population that is at best stable, and it's still sort of feeling the influences of Japan's sort of decline, which starts in the 2010s. Okay, but some of the reasons why it's stabilizing, it says right here, is, well, obviously because it's in Tokyo, and Tokyo has great transportation systems, and it's mentioning it here, the Saikyo line, the Toei Mita line, the Tobu, Tojo line, and there's been a lot of redevelopment. Like in many wards, Itabashi has ongoing urban redevelopment projects around, I guess, the major stations of Itabashi and Ojima. It says here to create new modern apartment buildings attracting new residents. So yeah, it's just creating a more attractive urban environment, for example, than you might find in Kawaguchi. However, Kawaguchi might offer something better because the houses that we're going to look at today really have everything. Everything that I've marked off that we're going to look at today really have everything. And when we looked at that sort of broader, I think I've summarized it really good. I don't think I have to I guess I could read the conclusion. In conclusion, Itabashi Ward is a clear example of a central urban area. It's not really central though. That's where the deep seek is wrong. It is central in a way, but it's also really to the north, okay? Urban area that resisted Japan's population decline through strong in-migration, but has now also succumbed to the overpowering national trend of negative natural growth. Okay, yeah, that is really the most powerful trend, the negative natural growth. However, we know that there's immigration in Japan right now. I think 2,200 people a day are dying in Japan, but 1,200 are coming in. So, and that's totally spread over the entire country. So it's really tough to see. That's just a look at that from some help from the DeepSeek. Come back here to the map. I'm going to really unmark this one because I thought that was when I took the refoam off of there, and you can see in these sort of near areas of Tokyo, that's a really great indication that we see red or orange pill. I'm going to click that right there, and I'm going to think that that's 900,000 Canadian. And no, there it is. I was certainly right. Basically, it's just under, I got it right. It's basically just under 1 million right there. And let's click it to open it up. We don't have to look at the entire listing, but we can look at it. And we see that it's 323 meters of land, 156 meters of internal space. And anything that we're looking here today, you see it right there, has double parking. Okay, let's just go through these pictures. Oh, built in 1997. So it's still like a 30-year house at this point in time. And I think it's a very nice house with a yard. It's really nice. To me, it's really, really nice. This is nice. I mean, that's but they're still not showing any of the internal pictures of the space. So we know that it's probably a little bit dated would be the polite way to say it. The other way to say it would be SHIT inside. Okay, but this is really offering everything to someone. Okay, let's come back here to the master map though. Okay, and I am gonna click that right there, and I cannot cover all of this one, and I think this is the one that I looked at right here. In that it's close to the train line here. Okay, and it's also close to Tokyo. And what was the price on this one? This one was for 378,000 Canadian. Okay, we're going to look at, this is the one that I've opened up already. I could just quickly click that. It's going to be a similar price range. Similar price. Yeah, it's the very same price. This one is 3,799. So we see, and it's 102 meters of space. Let's click that open. I'm not going to necessarily, this is really worth covering because it's good to really look at two samples so we can see how the more samples that you look at, the better idea that you're going to have of a marketplace when you look at everything. Okay, let's go through the pictures quickly. I'll try to expand them. 3-level wooden house. Okay, and there it is right there. I don't know when it said it was built. Probably built in the early 2000s, or it might even be earlier than that. Who knows? Everything's been updated. It's nothing special. Anything we're looking here is nothing special. It's an older house that's been updated, and it's basically it's got parking and great proximity to Tokyo, and on the edge, really on the periphery between Saitama and Tokyo. Okay. What else can we do? Well, that's enough of that one right there. I wanted to come back here. This is the main one that I liked, that I wanted to look at here today. We'll get here to the lead pictures. Again, the very same, a little bit, $20,000 cheaper, 3-level wooden house. And this one is it right here. And it's built in 2014. So it's only basically 10 years old. And you can see the difference. You can see it was probably built at the same time, right? And you know that the stuff that built in 2025 right now is going to be like they use that darker gray or darker black right now in the design, and in the 2014 sort of vintage of houses, these are the colors that they were using. You can tell that they're housing kits, okay, like by Panasonic or Lixol. These were likely built at the very same time. Okay, so there we go. This is it right here. I'll expand the pictures because the frame makes it a little bit easier to see. You can see it has parking. It has everything you want. Easily, like you don't got to be a talented parker. It gives you basically everything. New toilet. Like, it's just like there's nothing special about this house, but it's just a nice house with everything updated in it, and it's going for this price. And I think it's just going to move and sell. And after this, you're going to just you can see how the pictures here in Saitama are a little bit different than the ones you'd see in Tokyo. You see how, like, this is obviously a drugstore, right? And everything has parking. Like, there's parking here, so your car that you'd bring there. So if you're a car person, I get it. I'm a car person too. I just happen to live in central Tokyo, but I can afford to have a parking expense for me, because I have businesses, right, of $300 a month is reasonable for me, okay? But maybe it's not reasonable for a lot of other people, and they just want that parking inside their house. And then they can, in Saitama, everything that you're going to have, all your shopping is going to have, going to give you access to parking. So you can go from your house, you can go and do your shopping. So, and I get it. I like this way because it's a really simple way of living. This is obviously going to, what is this? Here, this is a Byoin, and this is a hospital right here. It says Kawaguchi Sogo Byoin. And this really explains everything that we talked about there in the deep sea conversation. The aging of the population, people want to know that there's healthcare close to you. Sogo Byoin. And I can tell you, in a comparison model, having experienced the Japanese healthcare system for 30 years and the Canadian healthcare system, in Canada, if you wanted to go to see a doctor, if you want to see a specialist, you basically need 6 months to go see someone, okay? Now, in Japan, if you need to see a specialist, you can almost go directly to the specialist and see it within a week. It's not even comparison. Canada's healthcare is an absolute joke. And the only reason people like it is because they don't have to pay anything for it. But is it really worth having a system where you don't have to pay anything when you can't see a doctor for 6 months? It's an absolute joke. I cannot believe it. My son hurt his back, overtraining. I told him, don't overtrain. But he wanted to go see the doctor. And I told him, you can't go see a doctor in Canada. It's going to take you 6 months just to see a specialist. And you can't even get a family doctor here in Canada. If you want to see the you're new to Canada or Vancouver, you got to go to the clinic. There's no family doctors don't even take anyone. Anyway, the healthcare system in Japan is better than Canada. But you do have to pay, I think it's 1/3. So you can't get everything for free. Okay, but I would rather have savings and know that if something happened to me, I could actually go see a specialist. However, I am a biohacker, and I believe in preventive maintenance. Okay, there we go. What do we got here? Who knows? I can't really see in close to hear what that's saying right there. It could be like someone at a dental office. And you can see there, Lala Garden. That might be Lalaport is a very big shopping mall company in Japan. I'm guessing that Lala Garden is just a different or newer name of Lalaport malls. And you can see that there's lots of bikes there. There's going to be ample parking for you. So if you want to go to the mall, everything is there. Okay? This could be like a sports facility. So really with this house, you get almost anything. I mean, everything. You get everything you want for a decent price. And you can see right now that it's basically fitting. You see the Saitama market in terms of the price analysis is much flatter. Okay, the average price is 380. This is right into the average right here. 3 LDK, and it's topping off at 4 LDK at $440,000. So you're going to have some stuff that's underneath it. You're going to have some stuff here that's a little nicer and above it, right? And there's the appeal points. This is basically a brand new house that's been updated here. Here's your transportation here. This is the Keihin Tohoku line. If you didn't know too, the Keihin Tohoku line is a very interesting line because it goes from Saitama in the north, it goes into Tokyo by Tokyo and Ueno, and then it swings down and goes to Yokohama. So it's a very, very, very great line to use throughout the whole Kanto area. It connects the whole area. It's really amazing line in terms of the geography that it covers. This is the Saikyo line, okay, which goes from Saitama, okay, all the way down. That's why it says Saikyo. Sai is Saitama, and Kyo is Tokyo. So it links Tokyo and Saitama. That's why it's called the Saikyo line. So often in these titles, okay, this is Keihin. Keihin, okay, Tokyo is K. Hin is the Yokohama. This is from Yokohama. So often the characters in these sort of lines, they explain the geography of it. Okay? And then here, this is the Saitama. Okay. Oh, this is Saitama what is that? This is nothing to do. This is entering the freeway, by the way. That's a little bit separate to there. Okay. There's nothing surprising. Anything we're looking here is going to be ownership, which is Shoryuken. Where is it here? It's not there. It is right there. Built in 2014. 65 meters of land, 93 meters of internal space. Basically a house that you have everything in. I thought we could I better land us in here on this street so we have an idea of the environment, so you know. There's not going to really be any surprises for me here, but by the way, you see, that's how close you are to Tokyo right there. So take the Google Maps golden guy, we'll stick it right here in front of this house, right here. And you can see across the street from there is a brand new, or not brand new, maybe a 10-year-old apartment building right there. That's directly across the street from there. And a house here. It's so important when you're doing this to look. This is a house built in the 1980s. Another one built in the 1980s. So we know that Saitama is growing in the 1980s. Okay? And there it is right. That's the house right there. I think that's the one right there, is it not? I think this is it right here. I don't know. Maybe they built 3 in a row here. You see the house mark? I think this was the one house right there. And what is that, a Toyota? Is it a Toyota? I can't really see. But you can see the character of the neighborhood right here, okay? Right away, you can see right away. Everything, by the way, look at how you got to learn to live also close to your neighbors. You're not really going to have a yard or anything like that. But yeah, I think it's a really good deal. I think this is what the market, and these are the people that are living across the street, obviously right there. You see a Toyota Alphard right there. You see, this is a Geisha. This is really important. What's a Geisha mark in Japan? This is a status symbol. Geisha is a foreign car. It's a Mercedes-Benz. Okay? And who knows what this apartment is. It's a pretty nice apartment building right there. Take a little stroll here down the street. What else do we have here? For the most part, we see that most of the cars are Japanese, so it's not like this totally status-driven sort of area. But a lot of people in this area are going to have there's going to be people with more money. And don't forget, the interest rates in Japan are like 1 for a lot of people, 1.87% if you get the 35 flat right now. So all your money's not going to go to the banking system for any loans that you're having. You're signing 35 or possibly 50-year contracts, so you can have other things in your life. Here in places like Vancouver, basically all your money is going here to the banking system when you're financing your apartments or your houses. There's a brand new house right there. That's a really important one for you to understand, because this is built right now in the 2020s with that black color that we see right there. Anywhere else we can look right there. This is a very beautiful building right there, tiled concrete building, probably a mansion right there. And what does it say? I can't really tell the character on there. This is Kishi built anyway. 1990 Kishi built, a house built here in the 1990s. Anyway, I'll give you a little look here of the neighborhood. There's no surprises here. There's only one other thing I sort of wanted to look at now that we're away from here. I want to come back here to the master map, okay? And we'll get rid of this. Let's get rid. So we know the price point of these green ones here, where everything has been redone, okay, is a price point of 300,000. But let's take this one. Let's unclick this and look at the general marketplace. We could take off. No, let's just look at the entire general marketplace and let's move it down into Tokyo. Okay, let's move it down into Tokyo so you can see the price advantage. We can see that this is Tokyo over here. Things are starting to get red. As soon as there's a boundary, a psychological barrier, the prices are starting to go up. And you can see here already, here on the edge of Itabashi, that there's less green showing. That Saitama is showing, call it a bargain or something, an arbitrage, something cheaper. Okay, but let's move it. Here we got Itabashi Ward and Kita Ward. Kita means north. So we're in the northern edges of Tokyo. Do we seeing any green like we saw there? No, we're already, as soon as we come across the river, as soon as we come across this river, we're starting to see the prices jump up for the single family homes. So this really explains it all. Let's click this blue one right here. Is this a radical? This must be really old and a piece of junk. No, it's not, but it's 43 meters, okay? 43 meters. That's an interesting one is here. One for 1,780 baht. I'm going to have to click again. I'm expanding this video. Built 1965. So this is a 1965 house that's being rebuilt. See how this is happening in Tokyo? This used to never happen, but it's happening right now. And it's because of the prices. We're going to go through. I'm expanding the video. Sorry about that. Okay, who knows? This is the house right here, and it's basically now 2025, and it's got a nice piece of land on it right there. But and there's parking. I'm assuming there's parking. I'm not sure. These look to be AI generated photos, I guess. But this is gonna what it's gonna look like at the very end, or maybe those are real and I'm just not seeing it well. That's interesting. Anything to look at right here? 43 meters of internal space. That one house there, that's basically a couple kilometers away, was 95. 68 meters of land. 1965, 1 LDK. This is a pretty good deal as well. One other thing I wanted to look at right here at the very bottom right there is whether this has parking or not. Okay, because I did try to mark off parking and it says it does have parking right there. So it's interesting to look at all this, and I think in some ways the market just explains everything. And I'm going to end here on the map, because that map right there you can see that's what this site at home is doing. It's giving us a quick way through this color matrix to make the secret of Keanu Reeves on the matrix, really, which is to see the keys to understanding the market and price. And the deals are in Kawaguchi Kawaguchi just over the line. Anyways, another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man, looking at some stuff here from Saitama. I think a very good video today. Really good for me. I'm really happy to look at all this stuff. You're interested in any of these places that we looked at here today, you can come to my Instagram, known here as the Tokyo Real Estate Man website. Here's a Delica that I just brought into Canada right here. Little video right there. Don't have to, oh, that sounds good, yeah. It's a fun video for me to do these car videos. I sell cars, I sell real estate in Tokyo. I'm a real estate investor. You can come here, follow the Instagram if you like. The other way of getting hold of me is come to my website of the same name, Tokyo Real Estate Man website. And then I gotta put these commercials in the middle, I guess. I mean, I'm just forget. I get on point. You can either fill in the contact box there. You can give me a straight email here to my old-fashioned Yahoo email. いつもこのチャンネル見てるありがとうございます。今日の動画は今日の埼玉、近い埼玉、川口市でなんかの3000おいくらだった700万ぐらいの3LDK90 メートルの物件のについての動画を今日作ります。ありがとうございます。今日の動画はもう終わりです。いつもありがとう。お疲れ様です。